Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I want to be reading a book. It's my book. You'll probably hear about this a little more in another video. I want to split them up. I just want to get this out of the way while it's still light out. I've got some natural light going on. But yeah, I've written a book, and this channel is called Goals and Fitness Friend, and I want to get back into writing my books. And so I've written one full-length novel. I'm going to read the first probably 11 chapters, I think. Don't quote me on that, but I'm thinking 11 chapters. I want to get to the first arc of the story, the first act of the story done, where it gets you to a hook. Just to kind of show you where I'm at without giving out the whole book for free. Keep in mind that I am not the greatest at reading aloud, so you have to bear with me. And there is a possibility that the phone will make a vibrate noise, or possible someone texting me. I've been kind of busy today on the phone. The phone has been active. But again, I want to get this done before the light goes out, so I'm just going to go right into it. My book is called Oblivion's Outcast. There was a second part of the name, kind of like Harry Potter and whatever, but I'm not sure I want to keep that, if I want to just keep it as Oblivion's Outcast when I actually finally publish it. I wrote this when I was, I believe, 29, so it's a little outdated. I want to update, mostly, the only updating that would need to be done is on the first chapter, because the first chapter is the only chapter that takes place on Earth, and so the rest of the book won't really need any real tweaking. But when you hear certain things like the year or whatever, I'm probably going to have to mess around with the first chapter just a little bit, because it's been that long. Just a little outdated, I guess, for the times, I guess. I think you'll know what I mean when you read this chapter with me. Anyway, without further ado, let's start with the preface. Can you hear my thoughts? Yes, you. I'm not sure why I even ask. It's not as if you'll answer me. Somehow, the questions that were only for me never happen anymore. Ever since that fateful night, you have become whom I converse with. Now, you're in my head every moment of every day, and you won't let me go. Even if you did, I'd never let go of you. I don't know what really happened, and may never find out the truth. If what she said is true, then I'm very sorry. Sometimes I wish I could cry all the tears you deserve, but they never come, and I don't know why. Still, there's hope. As I sit on the tree branch and look out at the endless sea of stars, I wonder where you might be. After all, I am, or was, just a teenager. How could I have killed you? All of you. The entire human race. If you don't know the answer, let's go back to the beginning and relive the night this all happened. Maybe, hopefully, you'll notice something that I didn't. For me, it already seems like a lifetime ago. Chapter 1. Cody's Last Day. I wake to the sound of an online friend calling my name. He's a guy I've come to love like a brother, even though he doesn't know my real face. He doesn't know the real me, only the perception of myself that I live at night. His name is Steven. However, when we're on the role-playing game, he goes by Magic Master. Tonight, I can't help hearing the tone of his voice calling out through the headset. He sounds concerned, and that is unlike him. Cody, are you up? You fell asleep at the computer again, didn't you? You need to wake up. I lift my head and feel the ache in my neck. Somehow, I still have the headset on. I wipe the drool from my forearm while squinting at the monitor. My avatar ran into a wall, thus blocking itself from wandering into any danger. Most nights, I'm not so lucky. The name is Grief. I loved seeing that name above my avatar. It's the one word that describes the background story I had written 2 years ago. When picking a name, one must think of something badass and with style, because you must parade around with that name. Often, I wonder which name I react to more, my real-life name, Cody, or Grief. Which one would you go by? Cody is 17. He goes to school, gets a 2.0 grade point average, and sleeps through a third of his school day. He isn't fashionable, sociable, or particularly in shape. Unhappy with his physique, he could benefit to gain 20 pounds of muscle. Hell, he'd be happy to gain it in fat. Cody doesn't get the girls, but daydreams about sex and his obsession with video game characters. Sometimes it's sex with video game characters. Cody is lame, and he knows it. He simply doesn't care. I don't care. Why? Because the real world is also lame, and that's only half of whom Cody is now. The other half of him is Grief. A warrior wielding a massive sword and wears the best armor available. He's the best damage dealer in his guild, and in the entire world of Darvon Empire, there isn't many who can compare with him. Life on Darvon is always fun and exciting, unlike the real world. Grief lives the life I want to have. He is the half of myself I prefer to be. Yes, I know. Again, lame. Grief, wake up. I rub my eyes. The light of the desk lamp is already giving me a headache. Damn, what time is it? I glance at the corner of my monitor. It's 2:58 a.m. I have to be up for school in 3 hours. Steve, it's late and I need to get to bed. The news is saying something about your city. You do live in Seattle, right? What's going on over there? What are you talking about? I ask with a yawn. Dude, turn on the TV. You're telling me there's no light? No light? Do you mean a power outage? If there was, I wouldn't be talking to you. No, look out your window. Do you see anything? I groan. Hold on. I need to take a leak. I don't want to give them the satisfaction of worrying me through some kind of joke. After taking off my headset, I grab the remote and flick on the television. While walking over to the bedroom window, I trip over a shoe laying in the middle of my cluttered floor and fall face first into a pair of boxers. If I were more awake, that wouldn't happen. Then I hear it. We are unsure what we are seeing. This phenomenon appeared in the city an hour ago and already has Seattle in a panic. The anchorman is attempting to hide his fear. His exhausted yet nervous eyes appear as if he's cornered himself into a wall. His lips shake between his words. Seeing this is all it takes to feel completely awake again. My house rumbles and an angry roar fills the air. I stare at the ceiling and can only imagine it to be a jet flying low to the ground. When the sound dulls, I notice the anchorman's voice has weakened considerably. Our one attempt to show the chaos at Ground Zero ended in failure when we lost contact with reporter Zach Hudson roughly 30 minutes ago. As of this moment, we haven't received any information that suggests he's hurt, but we will notify you of his status as it becomes clear. When I look back to the television, and a new subscreen shows a blurred image of a pink, pulsing light in the middle of the city. The fuzzy video footage doesn't tell me where it is, or even what it is. Comparing it to the one building in the video, the lit area seems to be the size of 2 city blocks or more. All of a sudden, I hear a car peeling out of my neighbor's driveway. It directs me to the thick drapes of the window, where I am now curious to see what's on the other side. I rush to the window and throw back the drapes. The foreground of my vision is similar to that of any other night. The road is dark, as most of the house lights are out. The exception is my one neighbor on the left. He never sleeps, and I assume he was the one racing to get out of here, because his garage door is open. The man was in such a rush he dropped a pair of gray pants in the driveway and didn't bother to pick them up. I live up on a hill that overlooks Seattle on the corner of Massachusetts and California Avenue. My neighborhood has an amazing view of Elliott Bay. However, the view is a little different tonight. My neighborhood is normally dead at this hour, yet I see a man and a woman standing in the streets. See, I told you. They're holding hands while watching the magenta-colored light beam streaming upward into the sky from somewhere in the center of the city. I've never seen this light before and have no idea what it could be. Whatever it isn't fire. 4 soaring jets fly across the night sky, and naval ships are in the sound off Alki Beach near Bainbridge Island. I dash back to the computer chair, almost tripping over the same shoe again, throw on my headset, and look to the screen. Steve, are you there? Yeah, I'm here. What's going on? I'm about to speak when the power to my house goes out. Goosebumps pop up all over my body. I inch my way back to the window and see that the city is experiencing a complete blackout. All you can see is the red light that creates a silhouette of the buildings in front of it. The phenomenon has become brighter and richer in color. This cannot be good. I close my eyes and think of God. This may be the last chance to pray. My last chance to ask God if He is out there, to ask Him what religion is the real religion, and to pray for the safety of the few people I love. Most of all, I pray I don't die tonight. After my short prayer is over, I look to the light one last time. Then, as I turn my head away from the window pane, I hear a loud explosion that shakes the whole house and shatters my window. Glass shoots into the left side of my face and I yell in pain. Glaring back to the light, I can see that it has grown to double its size. Gingerly sliding a finger down my cheek, I feel a 4-inch gash. It starts under the corner of my eye and falls straight to the bottom of my face. I search around in the darkness to find my cell phone. After locating it, the light almost blinds me. I call my father, who's working as he always is. By the 4th ring, I realize he isn't going to answer, and when it goes to voicemail, I hang up out of habit. After putting my phone away, I wish I had left him a message. Soon, I'm out the door and in the driveway with the key to my father's motorcycle in one hand and the helmet in my other. It's a stealthy black Suzuki Hayabusa. My father never let me drive this because it's special to him. It's his favorite thing in the whole world, except he isn't here to drive it tonight and has taken the car to work. I don't have a mother to tell me no, so here I am about to sit on my father's bike. My father, Nate DeCronos, is an FBI agent. He's as close to a real-life warrior as I believe I'll ever meet. I look up to him, and to ride his bike feels like I'm doing something wrong here. What am I supposed to do? I watch another neighbor rushing his kids into a blue 2015 Mustang. That's all it takes for me to throw my leg over, sit down, and start the engine. I'm sorry, Father. I put the helmet on, stinging my bloody face, and zip up my jacket. I haven't decided if I'm going to drive toward the light to see if I can help, or drive away to flee away from any possible danger it may present. It's one of those questions that defines who you are. One of those questions that define who you are. And I don't know yet who I am. Either way, I have one block to make a decision as I pull out of the driveway. In an instant, I feel unbalanced on the bike, fearing I will wreck in a matter of minutes. As the wind slides across my neck, it assures me this is happening. I'm riding my father's Hayabusa, and he's going to kill me when he finds out. That is, if the bike doesn't first. I don't belong on this motorcycle, but I know that I have to do this. While stopped at the crossroads, several cop cars race past me toward Seattle. This image makes the question grow all the more clear. Who am I really? Lowering my head, I concentrate on the two directions in front of me. Am I the one who is smart and runs to safety? Or am I the one who is brave enough to see what they can do to help? Am I the scared civilian, or am I the hero? Am I Cody, or am I Grief? I raise my head back to the road and, for the moment, am sure of myself. I click on my left blinker and start my journey toward the light. Each second I get closer, I consider turning the bike around and running away. I have nothing to offer, so why do I keep heading into dangerous territory? I guess it's because I haven't been living my life the way I've wanted to. If this is the end, it's my last chance. Though I'm scared, I'm not about to slow down. I lean to the left, allowing the bike to curve with the road. I don't even want to know the speed I'm going. All I know is that I am not driving a safe speed to be turning this much. How have I not wrecked yet? This is unreal. As I'm about to pass the cops that had just passed me, I wonder if I'll get in legal trouble. For that reason, I don't look at their faces when I drive past. When I do finally look back at them, I realize I'm too far away, or I am so far away now that they couldn't have had time to catch my license plate number. I'm sure they have their hands full as it is. In no time at all, I'm coming to the top of a small hill when oncoming headlights begin to glow over the horizon line of the road. My eyes widen as I discover the endless cars coming toward me. Some are bumper to bumper, while the others in the front are speeding and driving in a reckless manner. A lot of them are cutting into and driving on my side of the road to get out of town. I think the city has gone mad as I turn, swerve, and pivot the bike to avoid the cars racing past me. If the power to the city were on, maybe they'd see me on this Black Death device. However, it shouldn't matter. They can see my headlights, as that should count for something, right? Well, at one point, I think a Ford Bronco driver was actually trying to hit me. I must be getting used to being on Father's bike because I'm outmaneuvering everyone on the road. Again, I think to myself, why haven't I wrecked yet? Father always told me that someone who hadn't ridden sports bikes wouldn't last a minute on his Hayabusa. When I first sat down on his bike, I felt stupid for even trying to ride it. Maybe God has actually answered my prayer for once in my life. I get onto the sidewalk because there are fewer people to hit on it. While passing some pedestrians, I watch a driver allowing a homeless man into his beige Honda Accord. Seeing that makes me think twice about what I'm doing. What have I gotten myself into? As I am about 3 city blocks away from the light when its pulse quickens noticeably, I skid to a halt, thinking I might turn around and get the hell out of here. I remember that the light has already grown once already. If it's about to do it again, it may engulf me this time. I came here with the hope of seeing it without the buildings in the way. But getting this close is not my brightest idea. Well, wait, what is that? Is my phone vibrating? I look down and see the light of my cell phone is glowing through my cotton jacket. I pull the helmet off and put the phone to my ear. Cody, where are you? Father says. I'm in Seattle. I don't know the name of the road, but I'm a few blocks away from the light. What's going on? He growls. There's no time. Stay right there. We'll find you. How? Where are you? I might be able to get to you faster. Without a response, the call ends and I feel alone. Most of the cars and people are no longer as close to the light as I am. Glass shards are trickling onto the pavement and people are screaming in the distance. The salty scent of the ocean is in the air. I peer into the light and tell myself to ignore Father's orders. But something compels me to stay. I cannot stop staring at the light, mesmerized by its beauty and by the possibilities that it offers. As I let my eyes relax and feel them straining, the strangest sensation comes over me. My head tingles and a dizzy spell overwhelms me. Drunken with confusion, I ask myself, what is my name? I let go of the handlebars and study my hands, my arms, and my clothes. It's like I haven't seen them before. What's come over me to make me feel I've come down with amnesia? If it's possible, I'd swear the voice in my head, the one asking all the questions, doesn't sound like my own. I feel like I'm deep inside my own body, closed off from the world around me. I put the palm of my right hand to my forehead and a few moments later, my head is clear again. I glare back at the light and I'm sure It's this that sent my mind into a frenzy. Although I had just gotten off the phone with my father, I am becoming very impatient. How does he expect to find me? Through the violet haze, I see that it's now 3:27 a.m. on my wristwatch. Strange, the blasting noise cracked glass of my watch into two equal halves. The minute hand moves over the next line on the watch. It makes me even more aggravated, and I'm sure it will be a while before my father will be here to yell at me. Or so I think. As I'm about to put the helmet back on to drive away, I see a green light glow around me. Before I have time to react, a hand falls onto my right shoulder. It's enough to send a jolt up my spine, nearly catapulting me off the bike in fear. Cody! I turn my head, and it's my father. But he doesn't appear the way I expect. You know that feeling when you see someone you haven't seen in years, and you have to study how their face has changed? Well, something has definitely changed. I just wish I knew what. My father and I nearly have the same face. Well, except for the obvious age difference and hairstyles. Maybe that's what's changed. His hair looks like it has grown out more. A lot more than I would have expected. It looks a full inch longer than it was the last time I said goodbye to him yesterday. The father that stands before me now looks like he has grown healthier and happier. Is he not mad that I have ridden his bike? It's one of the only times I've ever seen him look happy. He smiles and then hugs me. Should I mention he hasn't hugged me since I was 5? If that's not enough to freak me out, he isn't wearing anything that I've ever seen him in before either. The material of his coat that lies under my chin is some unusual smelling black leather that smells, sorry, I have to read that sentence over again. The material of his coat that lies under my chin is some unusual smelling black leather with several hard surfaces molded over it. Pulling away, I scan his clothes further. What the hell are those flat shells of his coat made of? His new style is one that I've never seen before. I've seen anyone wear before in public. He looks like some kind of rogue in his boldly designed trench coat, gray shirt, and black slacks. Father, what's going on? No time. We need to get you out of here. You were chosen. What? Chosen? You have a second chance to live. The expression on his face and the tone in his voice are unlike him. I'd never seen this man cheerful, and yet here he is. Before I can process everything going on with him, I realize we're not alone. A figure with narrow shoulders is standing behind him. This person's face is shadowed under the hood of a blood-red cloak that drapes over the stranger's entire body. When the figure walks closer to us, the clicking of the person's boots hitting the concrete doesn't settle well with me. I lean back in defense when the enigmatic character approaches. Father becomes aware and lays a hand on my shoulder. It's okay. She's with us, Father says, though it doesn't ease my nerves. The woman looks toward the light. Her body language rests unchanged, as if she has seen it before and knows it well. They be here soon. Must go now, she says in a monotone voice. I can't help but noticing her broken English. Then it hits me. Another wave of dizzying vertigo comes over me with such a force I sense I'm about to go under. My father's voice calling to me is fading, and I can no longer make out what he is saying. All I can do is try to keep myself from fainting. Within the flashing visions, I soon gather that I have fallen to the ground. My father's feet are next to my head. I have only one question going through my head. Am I fainting, or am I dying? And that's the end of the chapter. I am sorry. There was some parts where I stuttered or faltered a little bit to read clearly. And there was a couple of times where I actually altered the sentence just slightly, just out of habit, because I didn't want to restart a sentence. And that's kind of just goes to show that I'm not someone who reads aloud very often. I'll probably get better as I do these chapters aloud. But that is the first chapter, guys. I don't want to give any spoilers away, and I don't want to go much farther than just chapter. But I wanted to see what I've done. I will probably explain my plan for this channel a little bit more in another video. But in short, I'm doing 11 chapters for you. At the end of those 11 chapters, when you get to the hook of the first act, hopefully the plan is to have formatted the book into an ebook that you can then purchase. Because I would like to be able to earn at least something from this book, despite the fact that I wrote that thing when I was like 29, I think. But that's only part of the plan. I want to do this in waves because I don't want to bite this off more than I can chew. But I am eventually going to be writing a book on this channel with you. I'm going to write the chapters, off video, but then I'm going to go over the chapter with you. I think explain, what the plan of the story is. Everything's going to be pretty out there for you. I mean, you're going to have spoilers with this version because I want you to feel like you're writing the book with me, if that makes sense. I'm going to go from first drafts up into the point of editing, and go through the editing process with you to show just how hard it is to write a book, how dedicated it is to write a book. When I wrote that book, I spent, I think, 9 months on that book writing the first draft, and the first draft was horribly written. I mean, there was punctuation and grammar errors all over the place. I basically had to reteach myself how to write correctly, and I did. I got books like Grammar and Punctuation for Dummies. I was watching YouTube channels on writing, and I got to a point where I felt like I was getting to be a grammar Nazi, a grammar and punctuation Nazi. Probably even more so with punctuation. Punctuation drives me nuts when it's done quickly sometimes. Even though I'm not perfect, I can still find mistakes in this edit of this book. I've heard it said oftentimes that you're never done editing until it's published, and I believe that. I mean, there's always some tweaking of the word, and then of course when you're editing the book, your edits make problems. You'll realize that you used a phrase that you then used somewhere nearby in the book, and you don't want to do phrases too close together or certain words too close together. But yeah, I will try to make these videos about the chapters in the title, so you can tell which ones are about the book and which ones are about my weight loss. So if you just want to follow the ones on the weight loss, I think it'll be pretty obvious in the title of the videos. But this is what I'm about. This channel is supposed to be about goals and fitness, and right now, or so far, it's only really been about fitness. But hopefully, by doing this for you, those who are wanting to be writers will have some inspiration to write their own books. Maybe they'll be discouraged, I don't know, because it is quite a daunting task to write a book. This book that I'm reading to you is like 120,000 words. And when you're a first-time publisher, they say you don't want to write anything more than like 90,000 words. Because most publishing companies don't want to take a chance on a first-time author for more than 90,000 words. But I didn't know that until after I wrote it, and when I wrote the first draft of that book, it was more like 130 or 140,000 words. I had to cut down like 20,000 words, somewhere around 10 to 20,000 words out of that book, just to try to get reasonable for that cause. Anyway, that's enough. I hope you enjoyed the first chapter. And I hope you stay motivated, guys. I will talk to you about my weight loss in another video this week, probably tomorrow. And I will see you later. Bye.